We're going to take you on a journey.
Look, to be honest, there was 2 days I laid on my bathroom floor.
I can't believe I'm crying already.
So I can't imagine the grief of a parent who loses a child.
And you be the greatest version of you, then I feel like my work is done.
Hi, I'm Tam Wrigley and welcome to the Beyond Beautiful journey. You all fell in love with her as Martha on Home and Away, and recently she has graced our screens as Ellie on Neighbours. Today, Jodi Anasta joins us on the couch to talk about her career highs, her career lows, and the dark moments that have shaped her to be the person she is today. Well, Jodi, welcome to the couch and welcome to Beyond Beautiful, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be part of this.
I've got my little notes here, so I may look down from time to time.
Pink notes.
Yes. But we're going to kick off with, I guess, going back to the beginning with you, and you sitting on the classroom floor in grade 1 and the teacher says to you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer?
What did I want to be? I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be an English teacher, actually. And I remember when I was growing up, I would have this fake classroom in my bedroom and I'd make assignments for everyone and I'd hand them out. I did the whole spiel.
Did you score them?
Yeah, the whole thing. It was a real kind of, I don't know, I guess it was a dream of mine to be a teacher. And funnily enough, now I do that on Neighbours. My character's an English teacher. It's like, wow, you know, life goes full circle. Yeah.
When did it change from you wanting to be a teacher to that segue into acting?
I think that it was year 6. We had this play that the whole class had to audition for, and there was this one role that we all wanted. And this character had to get really angry and tell her parents she didn't want to eat her Brussels sprouts. And I remember watching all the other girls do it, and they all did it the same way. And I remember going, okay, I have to go a little bit crazy and do something like really unexpected. And I just threw it everywhere and went crazy, and I got the part. And I think I cried when I got it because I didn't think, because I'm a terrible actress. But I think that kind of gave me an insight into what it's like to be, well, to act or to be on stage or to perform or, you know, make people laugh. So, yeah, I think it started then.
When was your first role? Was it on Home and Away?
Home and Away. When I was 19.
Like so long ago.
I know. It's funny, I moved to Milan when I was 18 for a year, and it was just when I got back and I was moving to Miami or somewhere else, and I'd watched Home and Away for 10 years, and my agent called me and they're like, hey, do you want to go for this part on Home and Away? Like, you're not an actor, you've never done this, but I know it's your favourite show. Give it a go? Oh, P.S., your first audition is with Chris Hemsworth. I was like, I'll do that.
Then you were like, you know, he was nobody
but
right
he
then.
was still like a huge heartthrob back then, but not on the level he is now. I just remember walking in the room and I've never been so nervous in my life. Yeah, he was amazing though, and he really helped me, and everyone in that room did. And I walked out and I burst into tears, and I was walking up Oxford Street on the phone to Mum. I was like, that went really, really well. I think I got the part. You know, meanwhile, they'd auditioned like 500 girls. I had no idea, but I felt very connected to the role of Martha. Yeah.
Is there a role that you've played over your career that's like really etched into your DNA? Not that I can think of. I guess with any of the characters I've played over the years, I try and relate to one part of them, you know, finding the element of truth in that character that I can connect with and then go from there. So I guess they've all had a little part of me, even the crazy ones. Yeah. You know, it's like you can relate to one kind of part of whoever they are, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to do a couple of films or something like that and play a completely different type of character. You know, there's this other part of me that's a little unfulfilled in that regard and wants to explore different characters and grittier characters. I was going to say, what would be your like ultimate?
Oh, some kind of psychological drama. I'd like to do, you know, some comedy as well. So it's just I don't know, we'll see. Life after Neighbours, maybe. It's a
very hard industry, I guess, to tap into, and it, you know, it can be quite strenuous. What have been some of your challenges throughout your career?
After Home and Away, there was a 7-year period there where I would literally do one job a year. And I was very grateful to have that one job, but that could be 3 days filming or it could be a month filming. And it was never more than that. And it's kind of like that feeling of endless auditions and hanging on to that one job. It's quite exhausting, and it's, you know, you start doubting yourself and what you can do and your capabilities and all of that. So I remember during that time setting some goals and dreams for myself, and part of those were to work on a full-time TV show again. I was like, I'm not done yet.
Yeah,
so it was really nice when the Neighbours opportunity came up and I jumped at it.
Yeah.
And here I am.
I know.
In my 4th
Teaching.
year. Oh gosh.
You are a single mum, but you're also and a career woman. So I guess what are some of the struggles? You know, there's a lot of women out there who struggle with being a really great mum, but also having this really successful, fulfilled career. How do you do the both?
Juggling act? Gosh, it can be really difficult sometimes, and I've had that experience lately where I want to give every single part of myself to Alia and to being a great mum, and I wish I could spend, you know, hours a day on the internet looking at how to be better or how to come up with exciting, you know, things to do and that, but it just doesn't work like that. You know, it's kind of, for me, it's about connecting with my daughter and filling our days up with things that she can learn about and I can learn about, and together we get through it, and we have our own little adventure, our own little life together. And then there's this other part of myself where I want to commit to my career and my life, and I want to be the best person I can be. You know, there's the work stuff, and then there's the me personal stuff. So there's so many different areas that you have to stay across, and to keep those areas consistently balanced is very, very difficult. I try to be really conscious of what I'm giving more or less, and often I can always tell that through my daughter's eyes.
Yes. Or the tantrum she's chucking.
Yeah. But, you know, that's life.
Yeah. You've come out, I guess, recently and talked about, you know, that whole stress, because you do commute, and it's not just like a train trip we're talking about. It's like you're 4 days in Melbourne, 3 days in Sydney, and after a while that does have a toll on you physically and mentally.
It does.
Tell us a little bit about your break. You've thrown the hands up, which is great.
I know, and it was really, really nice to talk about it and just go, you know what, I was struggling really bad, and for me it's about catching myself before you go into a dark place, you know, and I could feel everything nothing was making sense anymore. And I wanted to just take that time, put my hands up, figure out what was going on, do some work around myself, and not just mentally but physically, and, you know, combine all of those things together and get back to a nice kind of stable place again, because one thing goes out the window and it's like everything can just spiral, you know, and that can happen very, very easily. And I find with my job, it's kind of long days on set, 12-hour days, and then at the end of that 12 hours, I'm driving to the airport, I'm flying back, and then I'm slipping into mummy role. And it's doing that endlessly without taking the time to look at myself, you know, and figure out what's going on. It can be very detrimental.
Was there a moment during the last few weeks or months that made you stop and go, this is not going to end well?
Yeah, there have been quite a few of those moments that I pushed through from the beginning of the year, and it was scary because I did that whole like, no, I'll be right. Okay, I'll be okay. Okay, let's go, Jodes, let's go.
Don't we? Or as,
we do.
As women and as mums, it's just like, no, we're fine.
Because there's that part of you that you need, that part of you as a mother to push through. But when it comes to life and, you know, your physical and mental health, it's pushing through is just like the worst thing you can do, I think. You have to kind of stop and have a good look at what's going on, and, you know,
I think your body
figure it out.
I think your body makes that decision for you.
Well, mine did in this case, because I started getting really, really, really sick. And my doctor said to me, I can't believe you were standing you were completely anemic. You had 2 different infections going on, and nothing was working because you weren't giving yourself the time. So, you know, I kind of had to hear it from a doctor, and then, but I knew I was pushing through and just getting through, and then falling on my feet, and it was, you know, it's a horrible place to be.
It is, because then you feel like, I guess sometimes it's that bit of, you feel like you're failing, but you're not.
Yeah, totally. I felt like a failure, and then I felt scared, and then I was worried I would lose my job if I asked for time off. And then I was worried about judgment of people. And then I was worried about, you know, and then what's this doing to Alia?
What is she seeing?
You know what? What's this doing to me? Because if I'm not right, nothing else is going to be all right. And if I've got to get me right, you know, that's what I've learned the most out of this entire process is nothing else is going to work if this isn't right.
So what are the steps that you've put into place to make you right?
I think it started with exercise, sleep, water, exercise, and gentle exercise, because I can get really obsessive, like everyone, you know, you can get obsessed with exercise or eating the right things, and it's really getting back to that like consistent balance, kind of place of balance. And, you know, doing therapy and talking about my issues and connecting with women, connecting with men, you know, finding my family and just letting people in, talking about what's going on, talking about my problems, at the same time nurturing myself, whether that's, like the food, the walking, the water, whether it's music, art, poetry, just all of those things.
Because I think too, you know, you touched on it, it's having that support mechanism as well, with whether it be family or friends. It is so hard. I know for me, I don't know about you, but it's so hard just to have that, I need help, like to verbalise it.
Yeah.
And
let's be honest, no one wants to hear about your shitty day. I'm like, what about a shitty half a year? Can I tell you about that? I think there's a person you can see about that. No, but it's, you know, just that, exactly what we're talking about before, where it's reaching out, owning what's going on, talking to people, letting people in. And I think to do that, you have to have an understanding of that yourself, first and foremost, and then reaching out, and then you realise you're not alone. So many people are going through their own battles, you know, and it's a way of connecting, not feeling alone, and then you can grow from there.
Absolutely. Are we going down the path of, are you ready for like new relationships?
Relationships?
New friendships?
What do you mean? What, like, as in friendships, or you mean boys?
Boys. Let's talk boys.
You're not allowed to ask me this because I have a crush on someone at the moment, so I'm going to just like melt. It's really nice. Boys have been very difficult for me. I can't, you know, I feel like the last single girl sometimes, because it's really difficult to make a relationship work when, let's be honest, they're coming 4th or 5th on the list, you know, like
on your priority.
Yeah, like there's Alia, then there's family and friends, there's work, there's travel. Above all that, there's me, you know. So I think that it's really difficult. The relationships that I have had, the short-lived ones, they've struggled fitting into my world, and a relationship should be a two-way thing, you know, and it's hard. I'm a bit deprived of time. So there are periods where I have tried and it hasn't worked, you know, it's been really difficult. But it is,
it's there. You're still young and gorgeous. And
it's there, it's always there, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe soon.
What are some of your future goals? Where do you see yourself?
My future goals are in design.
Oh, yeah.
I have been working on this thing, kind of.
I'm not allowed to tell.
Yeah, I've been working on this thing for 9 or 10 years that my heart and soul is part of. So I see that as my long-term kind of future game after acting. Design, cooking, music. I love DJing. No one knows that.
Do you teach it?
Yes, but not at clubs or anything. But
just at home.
Yeah. And Ali was like,
Ali is your audience.
Ali wanted me to like put together a playlist for her. It's quite funny. There's all these things I just love doing. Poetry is a huge part of my life. I write a lot of poetry.
Do you find it therapeutic?
Very therapeutic. Yeah, very, very therapeutic. You can send me into bloody mental obsession, but when you're able to put your thoughts and your feelings down on paper and it has a flow to it and it's beautiful and it's interesting and it's, I don't know, captivating. Oh, well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was showing some of my poetry to Bonnie Anderson, who plays my sister on Neighbours last night, and she's like, oh my God. Well, she's like, you need to write a book, A, but B, this can be music or this can be poetry, and that's the great thing. I mean, it's open to interpretation, how you read it and how you say it and that. So, I don't know, there's this whole other world for me to discover, but I would definitely say my future is about, design, spending more time at home, having more children, music and writing.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds like a real dream.
What type of role model do you want to be for your little girl?
You know, that word role model, it makes me so uneasy. I feel like there's a lot of pressure attached to that word, and I don't know. I want to encourage my daughter to be the best version of her, and I want to support her in doing that. And I think that I can do that through the good and the bad things, even my mistakes that I make, which, I have this thing where if you're a role model, you can't make mistakes. But I guess that's where the inspiring part of it, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's also how we learn and grow.
Exactly. It is. Yeah, it is. But just through, even this whole process of me getting sick, and I was on the couch and I had to talk to her about bringing her toys in and being there on the ground while I'm on the couch and talk her through what was going on and for her to have an understanding about that, because it's all part of life, perfectly imperfect, and making mistakes and falling down and getting up. And I remember in year 6, we had a netball team, and I was terrible at netball. And I got.
But you're so tall.
No, well,
you should be a shooter.
I got the award for most determined, and then I went on to play netball for years and years in amazing teams, and it's nice to reflect on that, because I really do think that would be me, most determined. I'm very determined. I can fall flat 10 times and I'll still get up 11. Yeah.
Do you talk to your daughter as if she was like your best friend or, another adult being? Because I know, some people, I was like that with my daughter. It was like, she asked me a question, I'd give her an honest answer. I wasn't going to go, you'll learn about that when you're 11 or 12, I've always been like, I'll just tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you like that with Alia?
I think some people would disagree with that. She, first and foremost, I'm her mum, but she's my best friend in the world. She's just, I want to give her everything that I can, every good and every kind of thing she doesn't want to hear, and be as honest as I can for someone of her age as well, keeping that in mind. But yeah, she has a lot of questions. She's amazing.
She's 5, isn't she?
Oh, she's inquisitive. And it's so funny.
They're sponges at the moment. They absorb everything.
I know, they do. Even I can feel her energy when she's listening to me, and I have to be conscious of that all the time, because she's learning all the time.
What have been some of your career highs or your life highs than champion moments?
I would say when I started travelling when I was about 13 and modelling. I remember winning a modelling competition. My mum entered me in a radio competition, and that feeling of, I don't know, just going, how have I won this?
Yeah.
That's kind of started that, and then the travel and doing working with amazing people and being this shy 13-year-old and just crazy life. That Home and Away when I was 19, incredible.
Yeah.
Working for Maya for 5 years,
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah, they're a great company.
Incredible company, and it taught me how to, I don't know, how do I say it? It gave me confidence about who I am and how I can speak publicly, and that I have an opinion about fashion and, you know, different things in life, and it matters. And that was a really nice, wonderful kind of educational experience around all of those things. Neighbours has been amazing, amazing. Yeah, and I've got a design project that launches next month with a company that I'm really excited. Really excited about. I like sinking my teeth into the design elements.
Yeah. You're
of
very creative.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just realised that.
Yeah.
I've said my whole life I'm not creative. No, it's not for me. Next minute I'm writing poetry.
Are we allowed to know what the
painting.
design project is?
I'm not allowed to say anything. But it comes out on like the 7th of September. And, you know, it's a nice thing for me. Just, it's small steps for me. I get shy, and it's about just slowly building confidence around the things that you think you love, you think you know how to do, and then tackling the bigger things.
And then when they come out, you're like, wow.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Whole level of anxiety sets in.
Oh, totally.
Have there been
Scary.
any dark moments throughout your life and career that you've had to sort of overcome, and how have you managed to do that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The dark moments. I think one of the darkest I ever went through would be losing my boyfriend at 21, my first boyfriend, to cancer. I'll never forget that pain, that gut-wrenching, soul-destroying pain that you feel, and being 21 and having this whole world ahead of me. And no one had ever died in my life prior to that. And I always felt like, oh God, when that happens, it's going to be big. And it was. But I learned a lot of life lessons really early on from going through that with a whole bunch of people. And then I think second to that would be the 2009 stuff that I won't go into, but that taught me a lot about myself, the direction I was going in, who I am as a person, who I trust, what to do, what not to do, how to behave publicly, who is the person I want to be versus who is the person...
Who is your brand?
Yeah.
Like
all of that stuff, that was quite amazing and
how did you
devastating.
Get through, like, you know, obviously these struggles, you know, you've lost your partner, you've gone through other struggles, but what was the moment that you go, okay, I'm going back up. I'm going to go back up and climb this mountain?
I think it's when you're flat on your face.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's what it takes to just stop and have a good look. And that's why I didn't want that to happen, you know, this year when I kind of just said, okay, I'm out. I need a minute.
Tapping out.
You know,
Yep.
before you get to that point. Because whether it's you or something that's happened to someone else or whatever it is that sparks the change, it often takes me a lot to get to that point. And, you know, it's the same with going through a divorce as well. Like, you know, that they're all such different things, but it's that same feeling of feeling.
I think I've often said the three biggest things in life, the most stressful, is divorce, death, and moving house. Like, you know, like I know it sounds weird, but you know, they are so stressful and so emotional times that, you know, a lot of people struggle through them.
They are. There was a period there when I was married, we'd move houses every 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm a very good packer. Yeah. I'm a very good colour. So I managed to turn that one into a positive.
There you go. I know how to donate to Vinnie's.
Yes. Ken threw a few things out.
Yes. And just to close off then, what's in store for you for the rest of the year or 2020?
2020. There'll be more. I think it's more of what I've been through this year, kind of coming back to me, finding out about me and what I want to do moving forward, and how I want to challenge myself and push myself to keep doing those things. And you know, having Alia along the way Creatively, it'll be design projects, Neighbours, a little bit of travel, and just enjoying life and kind of getting back to really simple things as well.
I know out there in social media land, a lot of
Oh,
people
God.
now are using their like platforms to bring out their emotions, I guess. Have you
Yeah.
like do you think you would like open up to your followers about your journey? Like, do you use, I know there's a lot of people that use that platform now for that, to help others.
I know this is a weird example, but I did that when I cut my hair off.
Yeah.
Such a weird example. But it was the release of the old me.
Yes.
And hey, I can't hide behind you anymore. I'm ready to be free. I'm ready to be me. I am who I am. And it's like a symbol for coming
out
to being me, or, just
Yep.
sitting in myself, and that was I felt really exposed doing that. So I guess I have done it.
Yeah.
And I do it behind something really vain. So it's like, it's distracting. No, but I guess, I have done it a little bit in the past. And it's liberating to do that.
Because I think, I know we're going to keep going on, but I think too that having those platforms to talk to people, you don't really come out a lot. I can get from you, you're probably a very private person. So for you to be able to stand up and go, okay, this has happened to me, this is what's wrong, must be quite a big challenge for you to put yourself out there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's scary.
Yeah.
Like, Instagram really scares me.
Oh, yeah.
I went off Instagram for a few weeks and it was amazing.
Yeah.
There's benefits to it, but the fact is, like, what we're looking at, half of it's advertisement. 3/4 of it is retouched. And that's not something that we need to aspire to be like. We just need to sit in ourselves, And I'm not saying I've never retouched a photo or anything like that, but it's all part of it, right? But that's not what I need to compare myself to, I don't know, the good stuff. I often say all the really, really good stuff happens and no one's filming it.
Yeah. It's like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, I want to just put this perfect picture out there, but they're really, behind the scenes, there's struggles and there's tears and tantrums and people
it can be amazing. I get a lot of inspiration from, a whole different range of women and men and companies and fashion, and it's great for that. If you've got the use for it in the right way, it's great. But I think it can be very detrimental to people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on the show
Thank you for having me.
And
Love
good
this.
luck with it all.
Thank you very much.
And these projects we're not allowed to talk about.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's very annoying.
And if there's fashion coming out, you must let me know.
Yes, of course. I will give you some. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thank you.